In this video, I'm going to be reviewing the Pineider Milano notebook. I'll go over the specs, I will do a paper test, and I'll tell you what I like and don't like about this notebook coming up. Blake here with Blake's Broadcast. On this channel, I review fountain pens, paper, and ink, and as always, I put links to the show notes in the description below. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, it really helps out my channel. Alright, let's get on with the review. So this is the Pineider Milano notebook. And here I have the belly band on it, which we can just take a quick look at here. This is the lined version of the Milano, and we can see it's got watermarked paper. It's made in Italy. It's real leather, 192 pages, 80 GSM, watermarked laid, ivory paper, acid-free, and sustainable forestry. So lots there. This is the A5 size. Costs $65. We have a 6mm ruling in this notebook, and we have a pure white, I think is what they call this, leather cover. It comes in 7 or 8 other colors. There's a lot of choice there. It is a floppy leather binding, and it has sort of this crosshatch texture on it. We have Pineider Firenze, what is it, 1774 silver foil on the side. We do have gilt edges all the way around, silver gilt edges, and on the back here we have the Pineider, I don't know what that is, crest or something like that in silver foil. Now, the material, it's sort of like that Saffiano kind of texture to it. It doesn't really smell like leather. It feels like plastic, but it is leather. It just has a heavy coating on it. It is flexible. Now, opening the notebook, you have a paste down, which is in their sort of laid paper here, and we can see Pineider, Firenze, Roma, Milano, because I guess that's, I don't know, they're from Florence, Roma and Milano, I don't know, they have stores there. Now we have a place for a title, phone number, it says Milano here, and then we have a little bit on the background of Pineider, and on the very back here we do get a little pocket here, and a link to buy a fresh copy, and then some Kipling quote here. So compared to the Hollywood, I like this notebook a lot better. It doesn't have quite as much fluff or marketing material sort of inside the notebook. Pages are a really beautiful paper. It's a laid ivory paper, so you can see the laid sort of texture, the horizontal lines. Now, it won't show through on the camera, unfortunately. And then you also have the Pineider logo watermarked in there. So this is a very pretty paper. I like to compare this notebook to the Mont Blanc 146 notebook that I reviewed. I'll put a link to that up in the corner. This to me is an all-around better notebook. The paper is much more fountain pen friendly, and I think the binding is a little bit softer. It's not a perfect lay flat situation. You do get those 16-page signatures, which I like, but because of the leather cover, you know, it does create some more resistance, but I think overall this is a more enjoyable notebook to use than the Mont Blanc. Now again, 6mm ruling. We do have a Pineider logo at the bottom here, which you may or may not like. I think my biggest issue with the page layout is that the ruling is very dark and kind of heavy, so I don't really love that. 6mm is also on the smaller side for me, but other than that, it's quite a nice notebook to write on. We do get a green bookmark here, ribbon bookmark, which is nice. Now let's take a look at the paper test. Overall, the front of this looks pretty good. I will say we definitely got bleeding on the Pilot high-tech point. This is a very, very wet rollerball pen. I would say the rest of this looks okay. I think the fountain pens actually look very good, and since why would you not use a fountain pen? The fountain pen performance I'm very happy with. This Secure Jelly Roll performance doesn't look that great, and I would say some of the other pens don't look amazing. Copic Sketch, the drawing pen, the Lumo Color permanent marker, the Sharpie, they look okay on the surface to me. But I think the fountain pens came out the best here. Now if I turn the page here, when we look at the performance, all the fountain pens I think passed pretty much. Pilot 3mm, I can see a little spot there, but otherwise all the other fountain pens passed. So the Platinum 3776, which is sort of a broad italic, the Lamy Joy 1.9mm stub nib did really, really nicely. And, you know, a scratchier nib like this Scrivo Puma Extra Fine Flex Nib. No issues there. No issues with the very fine Platinum Curidas fine nib. That is a very fine nib. No issues with bleed through there. So really, really good. Now the Pilot High-Tech point, we did see bleeding there as well as feathering. Pentel Energel 1.0 millimeters, see some spotting there. And maybe a touch on the Uniball Sino 0.5 millimeter. And then the Troublemaker pens, we did see bleed through with those as expected. So what do we think? Overall, paper performance is excellent for fountain pen users, much better than the Mont Blanc paper. So if you're looking for a floppy binding leather-bound notebook, I think this Pineider one is a really, really good choice. So what are my pros and cons for the Pineider Milano notebook? Well, I think the biggest pro is that the build quality and overall fit and finish of this notebook is very, very high. I like the leather flexible binding. It has beautiful watermarked paper that is very fountain pen friendly. I like the gilt edges. It's just a nice, very premium feeling package, and the paper is enjoyable to write on. In terms of cons, you know, this kind of Saffiano style leather, textured leather, doesn't smell like leather, and it feels plasticky even though it is leather, which is unfortunate. 6mm rule, a little bit on the small side, but more than that, it's quite dark, which I don't love. And then as a normal problem with these kind of bindings, floppy leather cover, it's not the most lay flat. It's better than the Mont Blanc 146 notebook that I reviewed. Because it is a soft cover, I do find it pretty comfortable to write on, but it's not going to compare to something like a Mitsubishi bank paper notebook where, you know, where it just lays completely flat on the desk. You're not going to have that experience with this. So if you're looking for that, you're not going to like this. Other cons, I mean, $65, but, you know, this is a heritage brand from 1774. The paper is beautiful with a beautiful watermark, and it's made really nicely. So $65, expensive, yes, but I do kind of think it's worth it. But that's pretty much it. Do you guys have this notebook? Do you like this notebook? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, please hit that like button. And if you want to see more fountain pen, paper, and ink videos, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much, and until next time.